We are live. My name is David, and this is my room. Flooded. What happened was I woke up today, the 14th of July at 6 a.m. and I got up and I went to the toilet and I urinated and I flushed the toilet. Then I went back to sleep and I closed the store. And at 8 a.m. I woke up again and I got up and was sitting down at my table, and then I heard running water, and it sounded like someone was urinating, so I thought maybe it's my neighbor with whom I share the bathroom. His room's right beyond there. But it kept going on and on and on, and I also knew that he wasn't in these past few weeks. So at last I opened the door and I saw that the water was leaking from the toilet over here. Drip, drip, drip. So, but at that time the water was only around here after 2 hours. Maybe that's a drain, I'm still not sure. I went downstairs and I spoke to the security guard. He's a new face. I don't recognize him. I don't have a prior relationship with him. And I told him what was going on. And then I asked him to come up. And he came up. And we beheld the dripping together. And then we opened up this case and saw that the dripping was a result of this ball mechanism malfunctioning and water going in through here. Drip, 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 and come out that way. So he told me, since it's Saturday, no one could help, so I was on my own. And he even suggested that I just fill out a form, one of these defect report forms. Let's see if I can get that there. Yeah, defect report forms for Graduate House, and he gave me one. And then maybe on Tuesday, the earliest, some guy could come and check out the drip, drip, drip. Of course, this was very short-sighted. He and I are not very good crisis managers. And what happened was, I went out for a run, a 2-hour run, and that thing was still dripping, and it was not draining. And I came back, and the security guard had given me this form, and he wanted it. I was like, okay, sure. But first I went to the shower, and when I opened the door to my room, I realized, wow, my room is a lake. In fact, the water had not drained in the past 2 hours. It was still drip, 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 and now it came out over here. So I quickly, first, removed all my items and started laying them out here in the corridor. And then I went over to this thing and tried to adjust the ball. But the moment I tried to adjust the ball, and it used to be handled over here, it used to be attached over here, it just broke. I mean, look at this thing. Wow, this thing, it's amazing that, you know, for a toilet to function, it literally hinges upon this. And if this part is so vital to the functioning of the toilet, why is it of such poor quality? And why doesn't it last? That's a mystery for another day. So, after that broke, then the water started gushing through here. And now there was a torrent coming down here. And then everything started to flood even faster. Wow. So now, I ran back downstairs. And I told the guy, well, now there's a real problem. And the security guard, bless his heart, after a little cajoling, and after I pleaded with him enough, called, I think, the headmaster, so the headmaster could find some guy, a sifu, to immediately come and inspect this toilet. And I think he's on his way now, so I don't have to wait until Tuesday. That's good. And then he came up with me and that was curious because I think he was born in, yeah, he was born in mainland China, and you know, he was speaking to me half in Putonghua, half in Cantonese. Even though I told him I don't speak Putonghua, I told him to speak Cantonese. He just had difficulty changing channels or keeping to one channel. So trying to communicate with him about this was very, very difficult. But yeah, he saw this, and then he got into a fright too, so that was good. But again, he and I are not very good crisis managers. If I were to do this again, I think I would just get more heads involved immediately in the solving of this flood from the toilet. So he went downstairs because he was looking for a valve, and then I continued to clear out my room. And then he came back, and I think he shut that off. And I was like, wow, that's a great idea. I didn't even know this thing existed. If I were to do this again, if we were to do this again, I think we should have, from the very onset when that started to drip, and the water was only contained here, we should have just shut that off to begin with and just not use this toilet for a few days. But that's for the next flood. And he went downstairs, I took a shower, and now we're just waiting for the seafood. Now there are a lot of consequences to this. Right now my room is a flood. If I don't clean this up soon, the water is going to go down and cause water damage to the other room below me. I'm sure there's a flood in my neighbor's room, and he's not here right now too. That's a problem. If he were here, we would have had an extra head too to solve this problem. So right now we have a flood, water there, water here that needs to be contained quickly. And what I plan on doing is going downstairs to find a janitor to ask for the janitor's advice. I'm not going to ask for the security guard's advice now. We need another specialist. So that's the plan, and I'm thankful that it's only gotten this far.